Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. So this week we are going to learn about identifying main ideas, supporting details and contextual clues. Now let's look at the definition of identifying main ideas. So the main idea is the central thought or primary message that the writer wants to convey. It represents the overall point or theme of the text. Every well-structured piece of writing revolves around one key concept, which is expressed in the main idea. This helps to unify the entire text and guide the reader. The main idea can be explicitly, or in other words, directly stated, or implicit, in other words, implied and not directly stated, requiring readers to infer the underlying message. Now let's have a look at the different types of main ideas. The first one is stated main idea. So when the author directly tells the reader what the text is about. This is commonly found in textbooks, academic writing, or business reports. And the second one is implied main idea. So the reader has to infer or deduce the main idea from the details, as it is not explicitly or clearly stated. This often appears in more complex texts like opinion pieces or editorial writing. Now let's learn how to identify main ideas. So the first thing that you can do is to focus on repeated themes. If certain concepts, words, or ideas are consistently mentioned, they likely contribute to the main idea. And secondly, we can also look at the supporting details. All supporting details in the text should relate to and support the main idea. If a sentence or detail feels unrelated, it's probably not part of the main idea. And the third one is by summarizing the passage. After reading, try to condense the text into a single sentence. The idea you come up with is likely the main idea. Now you must be wondering, why do we need to learn about this skill in our English for Business Communication subject? This is because in business communication, identifying the main idea helps professionals quickly understand the core message of reports, emails, and presentations. This skill ensures clarity, saves time, and helps in decision making. Now let's look at the meaning of supporting details. So supporting details are pieces of information that explain, prove, or reinforce the main idea. They provide evidence, examples, facts, or descriptions that help clarify the central concept of the text. These details give the reader a deeper understanding of the main idea by offering specifics that support or elaborate on the main idea. Let's look at the different types of supporting details. The first one is examples. So examples are concrete instances that illustrate the main idea. For example, successful teams use collaborative tools like Slack and Trello to communicate effectively. We can also include facts or statistics. So they are defined as data or information that validate the main idea. For example, according to a recent survey, 85% of companies reported improved productivity after introducing remote work policies. And the third one is by providing descriptions, which is defined as detailed explanations or portrayals of concepts related to the main idea. For example, collaboration fosters a dynamic environment where team members can brainstorm and refine ideas. The next one is expert opinions or quotes, statements from credible sources or industry experts that lend authority to the argument. For example, John Smith, a productivity expert, states that team collaboration is key to business success. And finally, reasons or explanations, which is defined as logical reasons on why the main idea is true or relevant. For example, teams that collaborate effectively tend to solve problems faster because they leverage diverse perspectives. Now, these are some of the steps on how to identify supporting details. The first one is by asking yourself, what information is being used to back up or expand on the main idea? And the second one is by looking for signal words. Words like, for example, for instance, such as because or specifically often introduce supporting details. And the next one is by checking for relevance. Make sure the details are directly related to the main idea. If they stray too far from the main point, they are likely extraneous. And the last one is by assessing the type of detail. Is the author using a fact, example, or statistic to explain the main idea? Recognizing the type of supporting detail can help you evaluate its relevance and strength. Now you must be wondering, why do we need to learn about supporting details in English for Business Communication subject? This is because in business communication, supporting details provide credibility and depth to arguments, proposal, or recommendations. They help professionals make well-informed decisions by presenting evidence and thorough explanations. Well-structured supporting details lead to clearer reports, stronger business cases, and more persuasive communication. Now let's learn about contextual clues. So contextual clues are hints or information provided within a text that help readers deduce the meaning of unfamiliar words or phrases. These clues are usually found in the surrounding sentences and offer insight into how a word is used in a particular context. Understanding contextual clues helps readers grasp meaning without needing to look up every unfamiliar term, especially important in business and academic text. So these are the different types of contextual clues. The first one is definition or explanation clues. The word's meaning is directly explained in the sentence or nearby text. For example, the manager took a pragmatic approach to problem solving, focusing on practical solutions that would work immediately. So pragmatic is defined as practical in this sentence. The next one is synonym or restatement clues. The unknown word is restated in simpler or synonymous terms. For example, the team was meticulous, paying close attention to even the smallest details. So meticulous is restated as paying close attention to details. The next one is antonym or contrast clues. The meaning is clarified by a word with an opposite meaning or by presenting a contrast. For example, unlike her garrulous colleague, Sarah was reserved and rarely spoke in meetings. So garrulous can be understood as talkative because it is contrasted with reserved. The next one is example clues. The unknown word is explained through specific examples. For example, the CEO made several conciliatory gestures, such as offering compromises and making peace with rival companies. Conciliatory can be understood as peacemaking through examples. And finally, inference clues. The meaning can be inferred from the general sense of the passage even if it's not directly explained. For example, the proposal was untenable as it ignored basic financial principles, making it impossible to implement. Untenable can be inferred as impossible to sustain or defend based on the overall negative tone. Now, these are the steps on how to identify contextual clues. The first one is by reading the entire sentence or paragraph. Look at the sentence with the unfamiliar word and those around it to understand the general idea. The second one is by looking for signal words. Identify words or phrases that hint at explanations, examples, or contrast. The next one is by determining word function. Check if the unfamiliar word is a noun, verb, adjective, and etc. to make an educated guess about its role in the sentence. And finally, make an educated guess. Based on the clue type, guess the meaning of the unfamiliar word before confirming with the dictionary. So that's all for this week's lesson. So hopefully by now you have a clearer idea on the definition of main ideas, supporting details, and contextual clues. So these skills will definitely help you to read better. That is all. Thank you and have a nice day.